Now, let us welcome the sixth speaker. The sixth speaker is Ms. Kaho Arima from Tsuda University. Ms. Arima, please recheck that your camera is on. The topic for the extemporaneous speeches was COVID-19 forcing us to abandon our old ways of living. We're also quickly stepping into a new generation of the unknown. To establish this new reality as a new kind of motivating prologue for humanity, what specific actions must we take? Then, Ms. Arima, please be ready and start your best prologue.
Sure. Thank you, Master of Ceremony and honorable judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, it seems like we are living in the darkness. But if we change the way of thinking, we can regard this as a chance to start something new. Now, many people feel depression due to this COVID-19. But there is a way to get away from this depression. That is writing letter. Today, I'd like to tell you the importance of writing letters to your loved ones. After my speech, I hope that with this action, we can see the glimpse of the light. Now, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, more and more people feel depression because we feel the fear of health in many and the jobs. According to the data, it is said that more than 1 million people in Japan are diagnosed with depression due to COVID-19. But the biggest element of our depression is loneliness. Since the amount of time we can spend with friends dramatically decreased, we feel more isolation. I was also one of those who suffered from this loneliness because I can't meet with my friends at university and talk with them face to face. So I felt I felt the loneliness. But one day, when I checked my mailbox at the home, I realized one thing. That was a letter from my friends. I was so surprised because she didn't talk to me about it. But thanks to her letter, I felt that although we are distant physically, my heart and hers are tightly connected. From then on, I also started to write the letter to my surroundings. And from that time, and that this action spreads to our surroundings, I felt the warmth of people. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's write the letter to your loved ones. Of course, it takes time to takes time to write to buy the pencil and envelope and go to the mailbox. But this extra effort shows how much you love how much you love that person. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's write the handwritten letter and show your loved ones. Yes, it's very old-fashioned way to send your love, but since we are living in this digital era, it has much more value. So, ladies and gentlemen, send your love with handwriting letters. With this action, let's begin writing the first page of our own prologue, which is called Life. Thank you.
Let us welcome the sixth speaker. The sixth speaker is Ms. Kaho Arima from Tsuda University. Ms. Arima, please recheck that your camera is on. She'll deliver her speech under the title, Trapped Within Ourselves. Trapped Within Ourselves. Then, Ms. Arima, please be ready for a speech and start your best prologue.
Sure. Thank you, Master of Ceremony and honorable judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This contest last year was a day of moving speeches and rapturous applause. However, that day, I was merely a spectator, clapping my hands in respect for speakers shining on the stage. But in my heart, I was left feeling something else. Shame, guilt, and regret. Because at that moment, I realized that I had failed myself. I was self-handicapping. Self-handicapping is the act of creating an excuse for oneself before a challenge, making the task appear more difficult out of fear of not achieving one's goal. Although it seems like a attractive self-defense mechanism, it impedes our dreams, and finally, it becomes a self-made trap. I hope this speech will be a chance for you to escape this trap and bravely step forward towards your goals. My first speech that I wrote was a big hit, taking me to the Freshman National Speech Contest. But while enjoying fame, success, and happiness, this wriggling feeling of dread to write a new speech bothered me every day. Thanks to my lack of confidence that I would be able to hit the open speech contest jackpot once more, I felt scared of not being able to captivate the audience again, only to be labeled as a one-hit wonder. My mind was desperate to find excuses for potential letdown. So when I was appointed as an executive chairperson for the speech contest last spring, the self-handicapping kicked in immediately. With all these responsibilities, I'm too busy to write a new speech. As I reaffirmed those words with my friends and myself, those words quickly became a crutch. Yes, I was self-handicapping. When we look back on our lives, we find countless examples of self-handicapping. Oh, I won't do well on my exam, all because of my part-time job. Oh, I haven't prepared well for the speech contest, all because of my schoolwork. Do these examples ring a bell? I think some of us have said those phrases at least once, right? But why do we self-handicap? It is because we regard self-handicapping as a strategy to maintain our self-esteem and societal reputation. If we fail, we can disguise our faults and shift the blame onto something else. That way, we minimize any tarnishing of our reputation and ego. Moreover, if by some chance we succeed, we boost our self-esteem listening to praise from others, despite knowing we hadn't been giving it our all. What a win-win strategy! But is it really? After I started self-handicapping, my motivation to write new speeches evaporated. I did terribly at the speech contest last spring. What if I hadn't made excuses for myself? What if I owned up to my responsibilities as a speaker? Yes, it turned out that self-handicapping is not some clever way to protect self-esteem. It just makes it easier to fail. Yes, I fell into my own trap. So why does self-handicapping lead to failure? It is because we create a self-fulfilling prophecy, a social psychological phenomenon advocated by American sociologist William Ives Gomez. According to the theory, our beliefs and expectations turn into reality. So lowering expectations for ourselves results in diminished motivation and poor performance. But wait, does this mean that the higher we set our expectations, the more power we can show? Isn't this the best way to achieve our goals? Looking back at my life so far, I found one principle that brought me success. That is the declaration of a goal. When I was in high school, I belonged to the English debate club. At the end of my first year, my father suddenly told me, "Sorry, we have to move." I was stunned, but in the next moment, I found myself sputtering. I promised that I will make it to the national debate competition. So please, let me stay here. I would never forget my family's bewildered faces because I hadn't done well in prior contests at all. But that was the irreversible moment when I declared my goal. From then on, I lived alone and forced myself to push towards my target. And finally, I was able to go to the nationals. Putting your goal into words, with this action, we can set higher expectations for ourselves and it will make us eager to achieve our target. After I realized this principle, I stopped self-handicapping and stated my goal to my friends and my family. That drove me to work harder on my speech. And now I'm here delivering my thought to you. No longer will I shoot myself in the foot. Instead, I'll aim for the moon. This year, once again, I will be an executive chairperson for the speech contest. But will I self-handicap myself again? Never. So, ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind that self-handicapping is a trap which leads to failure. Although it seems like a clever strategy that allows us to externalize failure but internalize success, it just increases the probability of failure. So next time you feel like self-handicapping, please remember that if you do, you're limiting the potential of your future success. How wasteful it is. Instead, why not put your dream into words? Describing your ideal self with your own words can be the first step in achieving your dream. A part of you still might want to protect yourself by putting up a facade. But what do you choose? Your success or your societal reputation? If you are hesitating, please imagine someone who makes a lame excuse before the challenge. Is that person cool? Probably not. If anything, he or she is a coward. But we don't have to be a cowards anymore, trapped in our self-handicapped ego. Instead, we can choose to break through our trap and put our vision into words. Yes, for the sake of yourself, why not take control of your future and dreams? Because all it takes is just a word. Thank you.
Next, we have a question and answer period. Mr. Tamura, please.
Thank you so much, Kaho-san. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm so nervous. I couldn't sleep last night though.
Wow. But you delivered your speech really well today. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful speech. So you are talking about self-handicapping. I think this is an interesting theory, and I used to handicap myself a lot and excuse to myself as a strategy. So I can totally empathize with this idea. So you're talking about the risk of setting your goal too low. But what about the risk of setting your goal too high?
Yeah, thank you. I think that the risk of setting goal, higher setting goal, it's of course there is a risk, but I think that when you set the goal, I would like you to set the SMART goal. Do you know that? This is acronyms that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So by breaking down the final goal into those SMART goals, maybe you can step forward towards your goals. Yeah.
Great. So I like the idea of declaration of goal. So that is like making an announcement that I would like to achieve this kind of goal.
Yes.
But if you set your goals too high and fail to achieve the goals over and over again, eventually you will be labeled as a loser. Yeah. So how do you strike the balance between being labeled as a loser and being a real challenger, as you suggested?
Okay, thank you. First of all, when you declare, there is some tips. You have to select the few people that seem that you can respect and that seems support you in achieving your dream. So if you So you don't have to declare your goal to everyone. You can just select the few people. And then those supporters, like dream boosters, will see us making a huge effort. So those people will not judge label as the loser. So yeah.
Okay. So when I heard your speech first, I thought you kind of putting your goal on the Facebook or social media so that you are kind of making an announcement to all of the people. So why do we have to select some of the people? Is it reducing the effects of declaration of goal? What do you think?
In fact, I think that both works maybe, but as for me, in my case, I tend to declare my goal to my surroundings, like friends, but sometimes people feel hesitant to do this. So I think that for those people, maybe just selecting those people, just limited people might fit those people. But yes.
Good. So what is your next goal?
Well, now I'm doing the job hunting, and
Okay.
I'm very struggling with the screening process.
Struggling sounds like excusing yourself.
Sorry, but I declare that I have some companies that I really want to work in. So I declare that I will first of all I will pass the screening of the summer internship, and fortunately I was able to participate in that the company's summer internship. So yeah, I really thought that the declaration of the goal is very important.
Yeah. Great. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you very much, Kaho-san.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tamura and Ms. Arima. Now is the judging time.